there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. This is from the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 1, from Webster's Bible Translation. Welcome to our video on astrology chart revelations for Our Lady of Fatima, the 101st anniversary for three shepherd children's third apparition of the Blessed Virgin Mary in Fatima, Portugal, for July 13th of 2018, which included the three secrets of Fatima. The original apparition in 1917 included the third secret. And we're going to go over some of the various versions of this secret as we go through this video, so stay tuned. Now, please see my video entitled Astrology Chart, July 13th, 1917. Our Lady of Fatima, Third Apparition, Horoscope Houses, Zodiac Angels, which was her third original appearance. Again, that was in 1917 to Lucia, Jacinta, and Francisco. First, our disclaimer. Watching this video or reading this document is an act of spiritual willpower, and any such action is considered magic. High magic should be used with all mindfulness, since powerful forces of manifestation are unleashed. This is intended exclusively for entertainment purposes. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. If you'd like to learn how to contact me, you can visit my website at www.readingsbyrosemary.com, and you can find out how you can set yourself up for a spiritual consultation, psychic astrology, Rosicrucian Kabbalah, as well as classes and upcoming seminars. Again, that's www.readingsbyrosemary.com. Now, Our Lady appeared to the three shepherd children for a third time on July 13th, 1917, making July 23rd, 2018 the 101st anniversary of many miracles performed by Our Lady of Fatima. According to Catholic Catechism, Jacinta and Francisco's father reported that he saw a little gray-colored cloud, which was then suspended over the holm oak tree as the third apparition started. The sun's light dimmed, and a chilly light, this very light wind, like a little breeze, began to blow, originating from the mountains, even though during July it was usually summertime in Portugal. Lucia Santos, Jacinta Marto, and her brother Francisco Marto stated that during the third apparition they witnessed a bright, dazzling light, as they then saw Our Lady of Fatima standing above the holm oak tree. The conversion of Russia we're going to talk about later on, but that was one of the most important portions of the three secrets. Now, the conversation between Shepherdess Lucia Santos, Shepherdess Jacinta Marto, Shepherd Francisco Marto, and Our Lady is reported to have progressed thusly. Lucia posed a question to Our Lady of Fatima, quote, "What does your grace wish of me?" unquote. Our Lady of Fatima responded, "I want you to come here on the 13th of next month and to continue to say the rosary every day in honor of Our Lady of the Rosary, in order to obtain peace for the world and the end of the war, for she alone can be of any avail," unquote. Now, Lucia then queried, quote, "I would like to ask you to tell us who you are and to perform a miracle so everyone will believe that your grace appears to us," unquote. Our Lady of Fatima then instructed, quote, "You must continue to come here every month in October. I will tell you who I am and what I wish. I will then perform a miracle that everyone shall see so as to believe," unquote. Lucia proceeded to petition Our Lady of Fatima to grant the conversion of souls, as well as cures for various diseases and restorations of injured persons. Our Lady of Fatima repeated that praying the rosary would allow much of the grace for which the children were requesting supplication that would last throughout that year. Our Lady of Fatima continued, quote, "Make sacrifices for sinners and say many times, especially when you make a sacrifice," she said this was the specific quote from Jesus, "Oh Jesus, This is for love of thee, for the conversion of sinners, and in reparation for the sins committed against the Immaculate Heart of Mary. And that was the end of the quote that Mother Mary was then telling. And then this is a quote within a quote, unquote, from the original statement to Lucia, how to pray to Jesus. Now, according to Catholic Catechism, there were 3 parts to this third apparition, which constituted the 3 secrets of Fatima. Part 1, a vision of hell. Shepherdess Lucia Santos wrote down that Our Lady of Fatima said to her in the first part, the vision of hell, quote, Our Lady showed us a great sea of fire, which seemed to be under the earth. Plunged in this fire were demons and souls in human form, like transparent burning embers, all blackened or burnished bronze, floating about in the conflagration now raised into the air by the flames that issued from within themselves, together with great clouds of smoke, now falling back on every side like sparks in a huge fire without weight or equilibrium, and amid shrieks and groans of pain and despair, which horrified us and made us tremble with fear. The demons could be distinguished by their terrifying and repulsive likeness to frightful and unknown animals, all black and transparent. This vision lasted but an instant. How can we ever be grateful enough to our kind Heavenly Mother, who had already prepared us by promising in the first apparition to take us to heaven? Otherwise, I think we would have died of fear and terror, unquote. Part 2. Warning of punishment from God upon the earth and how to stop this chastisement. The 3 shepherd children gazed up at Our Lady of Fatima, who then said to them in compassionate, nevertheless melancholy manner, quote, You have seen hell where the souls of poor sinners go. To save them, God wishes to establish in the world devotion to my Immaculate Heart. If what I say to you is done, many souls will be saved and there will be peace. The war is going to end, but if people do not cease offending God, a worse one will break out during the pontificate of Pius XI. When you see a night illumined by an unknown light, know that this is the great sign given to you by God that He is about to punish the world for its crimes by means of war, famine, and persecutions of the Church and of the Holy Father. To prevent this, I shall come to ask for the consecration of Russia to my Immaculate Heart and the communion of reparation of on the first Saturdays. If my requests are heeded, Russia will be converted and there will be peace. If not, she will spread her errors throughout the world, causing wars and persecutions of the Church. The good will be martyred. The Holy Father will have much to suffer. Various nations will be annihilated. Finally, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. The Holy Father will consecrate Russia to me, and she shall be converted, and a period of peace will be granted to the world. In Portugal, the dogma of the faith will always be preserved. Now, this is unquote. This is, again, what Our Lady of Fatima stated as this second portion, the part 2, the warning. Again, that's the punishment that she was warning of. Okay. Now, an important aside, quote, illumined by an unknown light. That occurred on January 28th of 1938. So the part of this the 3 secrets, the second portion, the second secret, this is an important aside that we're interjecting here. Quote, when Our Lady of Fatima stated, illumined by an unknown light, unquote, in the second part of these 3 secrets, it did occur already. It occurred on January 28th of 1938. Now, part 3, the errors of Russia. Now, this is the part that is in some contention, where not everybody knows exactly if this is exactly what the third secret was, the third part of the secrets, or we're going to give you another version later that some say is this third part of the three secrets. And some of them might have been sort of, added to another part. But I think you'll see what we mean. And we provided for you this in written form as well, so you can study it. So this is part 3, the errors of Russia. Okay? So this is the first version of what is said to be the third secret of Fatima. We'll give you the second version of the third secret in a moment. Now, an important aside before we give you this first version of the third secret, the third part of the secret of Fatima is questioned by some Catholics, being that some of the contents of the letter written by Lucia Santos might or might not have been kept secret by the Church even until the writing of this document. Part 3 of Our Lady of Fatima's third apparition to Shepherdess Lucia Santos, Shepherdess Jacinta Marto, and Shepherd Francisco Marto was one of predictions made by Our Lady of Fatima it was about world events centering around the country of Russia. Our Blessed Mother gave God's ultimatum to the world and saying that the world would be spared war and find peace if Russia was consecrated to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. If her words were not heeded and the world continued to offend God, then God's judgment through a great war worse than the last would ensue, was her warning. An important aside, again, which you can find in the document we provided in the description box, of historical data providing the accuracy of Our Lady's prediction at Fatima. Okay, this is the aside that we're interjecting here to show you this. This is historical data that proves, again, it proves the accuracy of the predictions of Our Lady of Fatima. Okay? Now, this is the historical facts. Her predictions came true when, due to the rise of communism and an increased anti-Romanism against the Catholic Church, in addition to other geopolitical and economic factors, led the world into fascism, which with Benito Mussolini becoming Prime Minister of Italy in 1922. Michinomiya Hirohito being Emperor of Japan in 1926, and Adolf Hitler becoming Chancellor of Germany in 1933, which resulted in his invasion of the country of Poland in 1939, which began World War II. At that time, Joseph Stalin was General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, who became involved then by occupying Poland in 1939 in response to Germany's annexation only a little more than 2 weeks after Adolf Hitler's takeover of Poland. Now, Russia was indeed consecrated to the Immaculate Heart of Mary in 1952 by Pope Pius XII, who also consecrated the entire world to her Immaculate Heart of Mary, Blessed Virgin Mary, 10 years earlier in 1942. In recent years, President Vladimir Putin has done much to restore religious tradition, encouraging the faith of Christian Orthodoxy in Russia, which has resulted in his great success of restoring strength and vitality to the country he leads, with this being the major faith in Russia today. Now, alternately, the third part is thus. Now, this is the consecration for doctrine of the faith, quote, the message of Fatima, unquote. This is the other version of what the third secret of Fatima may be. It may be a continuance, since Russia was consecrated to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. So we're going to give you this third portion, which you may or may not be familiar with, because again, not all of the secret was thought by some to have been exposed. It's a controversy, but so we're giving you what's the information we have up till now of these two versions of this third secret. Okay, now some documents presented in Catholic Catechism classes provide this. Again, it's an alternative third secret of the secret of Fatima. It's a portion of that, stating that Shepherdess Lucia Santos then writes that she wrote this. quote, after the two parts which I have already explained, at the left of Our Lady and a little above, we saw an angel with a flaming sword in his left hand. Flashing it gave out flames that looked as though they would set the world on fire, but they died out in contact with the splendor that Our Lady radiated towards him from her right hand, pointing to the earth with his with his right hand, the angel, his right hand. The angel cried out in a loud voice, "Penance, penance, penance." Unquote of that portion. This is still a quote, though. That was the quote, penance, penance, penance of the angel. Now we're still within the quote of Lucia, of Shepherdess Lucia, and she was Sister Lucia at that time. She was had become a sister, a nun, and so she was writing. She might have written this though before she was a nun. Okay, so this is what the controversy lies, but this is still within Lucia Santos's quote, Shepherdess Lucia Santos's quote. And we saw in an immense light, that is God. This is a quote within this other quote again. Something similar to how people appear in a mirror when they pass in front of it, unquote. A bishop dressed in white. We had the impression that it was the Holy Father. Again, this is a quote within a quote. Okay, these are quotes within quotes. This is still the quote for Lucia's writing. Other bishops, priests, men, and women religious going up a steep mountain, at the top of which there was a big cross of rough hewn trunks as of a cork tree, with the bark, before reaching the Holy Father, passed through a big city, half in ruins and half trembling, with halting step, afflicted with pain and sorrow. He prayed for the souls of the corpses he met on his way. Having reached the top of the mountain on his knees at the foot of the big cross, he was killed by a group of soldiers who fired bullets and arrows at him. And in the same way, there died one after another the other bishops, priests, men and women religious, and various lay people of different ranks and positions. Beneath the two arms of the cross there were two angels, each with a crystal appersorium in his hand, in which they gathered up the blood of the martyrs, and with it sprinkled the souls that were making their way to God. That's the end quote of her writing. Our Lady of Fatima then gave further instructions to Lucia, quote, "Remember, you must not tell this to anyone except Francisco," unquote. Our Lady continued, quote, "When you pray the rosary, say after each mystery, 'O my Jesus, forgive us. Save us from the fire of hell. Lead all souls to heaven, especially those who are most in need,'" unquote. Lucia then asked Our Lady of Fatima, quote, "Is there anything more that you want of me?" unquote. Our Lady responded, quote, "No, I do not want anything more of you today," unquote. At this juncture, the third apparition, Our Lady of Fatima, then ascended towards the east, just as she had before, until she finally disappeared in the immense darkness of the firmament. Again, these are teachings of Catholic Catechism instructors. Now, let's take a look at July 13th, 2018, the astrology chart that I've prepared for you to commemorate and reveal this miraculous 101st anniversary of the third apparition of Our Lady of Fatima, which is located in Portugal. Now, this is the astrology chart. You see down here we have a portion that shows you how the astrological signs, the colors for the Rosicrucian style astrology colors, that is on an Adept's rainbow wand. We'll show you a rainbow wand later on. On the top here we have the Zodiac, Mazzaroth. We have, that's Mazzaroth is Hebrew for Zodiac. We have all these planetary aspects, and the other astrological placements of planets within the specific houses and the specific signs. Again, this is not going to be a natural chart. There's going to be a chart that doesn't have where Aries is in the first house. This is going to be, again, these it's like a wheel within a wheel, like Merkaba. Mer meaning rotating fields of light, Ka meaning spirit, and Ba meaning soul. So astrology is very much associated with Merkaba, Merkaba, Merkaba. Now, regarding this chart, this is for the 101st anniversary of Our Lady of Fatima, the third apparition, the three secrets, very important. This is the 101st anniversary, and it's for 2018. So this is for July 13th of 2018. And again, I've made another video that shows you the 1917 chart, which you can also look at. Now, okay, so now we're going to take a look at this. This is 12 noon, Fatima, Portugal. This is July 3rd, 2018. And noon is Zohar. All right. Now, the astrology aspects, again, it's July 13th, 2018 in Fatima, Portugal, commemorating the 101st anniversary of the third apparition of Our Lady of Fatima, the three secrets, and it is as follows. First, we have the sun in the sign of Cancer here, and that is at 21 degrees 0 minutes in the 10th horoscope house of social standing and fame. Planetary Archangel Michael visits dwelling of Zodiac Angel Muriel. The moon in Cancer at 25 degrees. We have here moon in Cancer at 25 degrees. And that is 52 minutes. 10th horoscope house of social standing and fame, planetary archangel Gabriel visits habitation of Zodiac Angel Muriel. Now, the sun is associated with the Archangel Michael and Jesus Christ, obviously, because Jesus was the 13th in the center of 12 disciples, like the sun in the center of 12 signs of the Zodiac. Covens are also often, they're said to have 13 people in them for the perfect numbers. 13 is a special number because it's kind of after you go to 12 or it's midnight, you have the beginning of light. The number 1 is associated with 13. It is a number that is associated with the sun, is a number that is associated with Christ. And Jesus Christ is associated with the Archangel Michael, and the Blessed Virgin Mary is associated with the Archangel Gabriel. So again, Archangel Michael and Jesus Christ associated, Blessed Virgin Mary and the Archangel Gabriel associated, because Jesus is associated with the Son, the Son of God, the Son, you understand. And also, Gabriel is over water signs, and Mary, as you know, in Latin, it comes from the word mar, and it has to do with the ocean. Okay? So these have very deep historical meanings. Now, Mercury in Leo at 17 degrees. So we have Mercury in the sign of Leo at 17 degrees 23 minutes in 11th horoscope house of friends and reputation. Planetary Archangel Raphael visits abode of Zodiac Angel Virchiel. Venus in Virgo at 3 degrees. That is Venus in the sign of Virgo. Obviously important to anything we're talking about having to do with the Blessed Virgin Mary, Virgo the Virgin. Okay, Venus in Virgo at 3 degrees. Venus in Virgo, 3 degrees. 44 minutes in 12th horoscope house of spirituality. Planetary Archangel Anael visits dwelling of Zodiac Angel Hamaliel. Now, Mars was this is for 2018. This is for July 13th, 2018. Again, Portugal, it's Fatima, Portugal at noon, okay? That's how we did the chart. Now, Mars retrograde, Mars will be is going to be retrograde in Aquarius. Mars retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. At Aquarius the water bearer at 7 degrees 31 minutes in 5th horoscope house of children and creativity. Planetary Seraphim Samael visits habitation of Zodiac Angel Cambriel. So you can see that it's Aquarius, the water bearer, that you're going to find Mars retrograde on the 13th of July 2018. Jupiter in Scorpio at 13 degrees 21 minutes. That's Jupiter in the sign of Scorpio. Again, 13 degrees 21 minutes in second horoscope house of money and possessions. Planetary Archangel Sachiel visits abode of Zodiac Angel Barchiel. And we also are going to have on that day, July 13th, 2018, Saturn, the planet Saturn, retrograde in Capricorn. See? In Saturn retrograde in Capricorn at 4 degrees 42 minutes in fourth horoscope house of hearth, home, and family. Planetary Archangel Cassiel visits abode of Zodiac Angel Hanael. Now, specific aspects that are significant facets of 7 ancient planets on July 13, 2018 are as follows. We're talking about the planetary aspects, like whether the planets are whether they're in conjunction or square or trine, that kind of thing. So we've lightened our watermark. You see, this is our normal logo. We have a darkened watermark here. So we've lightened our watermark for when we do planetary aspects and placed our logo here. Okay, just so you can see it more easily. Yeah. Okay. Now, the Sun conjunct Moon on that day. Sun conjunct Moon. So we have the Sun conjunct Moon right here. Sun and Moon. We have the Sun trine Jupiter. Sun trine Jupiter, this blue line here. We also have Moon conjunct Sun. We have Moon conjunct Sun. We have Mercury square Jupiter. Mercury square Jupiter, this red line here. I'm going to pull this in a little closer for you. Okay, so again, this is the Sun and the Moon are conjunct, and we have Mercury square Jupiter, and we have Sun trine Jupiter, the blue line here, and the red line for Mercury square Jupiter. We have Venus trine Saturn. Venus here, trine Saturn. This is this blue line here. And we have Mars square Jupiter. We have Mars here, squaring off with Jupiter. Jupiter trine the Sun. We have Jupiter trine the Sun, that blue line there. Jupiter square Mercury. Jupiter square Mercury, the red line here. Jupiter square Mars, this red line here. Okay? And we have Saturn trine Venus. We have Saturn here, trine Venus. That's that blue line there. Okay. Now, the Hebrew calendar associations and Zodiac, the Hebrew name for Zodiac is Mazaroth. Placements for planets for July 13, 2018 occurs on the 1st of Av, on Rosh Chodesh Av, in the Hebrew year 5778, which is the same as 2018, 5778. Okay? Now, the Sun is called Hama. Sun is called Hama, or Sol in Latin, Hama in Hebrew. And is going to be in the sign of Cancer, which in Hebrew is called Sartan. Okay, now the moon, the Hebrew word is Lavana, and it's Luna in Latin, Lavana in Hebrew. The moon is in Cancer, the sign of Cancer, the crab. So the Sun and the moon in the sign of Cancer, the crab, which is called Sartan. Mercury is called Kokav, or Kokav. B and V is interchangeable in Hebrew. In the sign of Leo, which is called the Ari, or Ari. So this is Mercury, or Kokav, in Leo, or Ari. And so you begin to see about the Lion of Judah, Leo the Lion, and the Lion of Judah, the Ari. You begin to understand that. Okay, now the planet Venus is called Noga in Hebrew, and it's in the sign of Virgo, which is the constellation is Betula. Now again, these are not the Hebrew months, these are the Hebrew constellations. Sometimes people use them interchangeably, but for example, the sign of Cancer is during the month of Tammuz. That's where it ends. So you have the constellation Sartan for Cancer. You have the Hebrew constellation Sartan. The Latin word is Cancer the crab. Or of course, you know, they have that's what it's derived from. And then you have for Leo it's Ari. So, and Tammuz is for the month that you find for Sartan or Cancer. Okay, that's the month. Okay, now, and these all work this way. Okay, now Venus, again, that is Noga, and that is in the sign of Virgo, which is Betula. Okay, that's a constellation of Virgo, Betula. Now Mars, the planet Mars, the word is Ma'adim, in the sign of Aquarius, which in Hebrew is a constellation of Dalit. Now Jupiter is the planet Zodiac, and it is in the sign of Scorpio, which is called a crab. Okay, and we have the planet Saturn here. Remember that the Mars and Saturn are both retrograde. Jupiter is direct on that day. Now Saturn is Shabbatai in Hebrew. In Capricorn it's called Gedi. The constellation is called Gedi. Information found in this document is based on the oral tradition known as Kabbalah, taught to me by a Rosicrucian clergy when I was but a young girl, the facts of which I have committed to memory. Thank you for joining us, and please join us again.